Okay, YouTube, I don't know, I'm just gonna rant right now, but there's some rappers who claim they're from Ohio and they're like white rappers from Ohio. We all know who this is. He got gelded by Eminem. Like horribly gelded by Eminem. When he tried to diss Eminem and it fucking failed and he got canceled by M's fan. I used to listen to Eminem at like 10 years old in 2001. I was part of that M craze. He's the first rapper I had ever heard of that was Eminem. I heard him through another kid who lived across the street from me. I went over to his house to hang out, and he had like the Slim Shady LP on, I think. And my mom kept taking away the Eminem, but I kept downloading it off the internet and fucking burning CDs of it. So eventually, she just gave up. But motherfucker claims he's from Ohio, but I just looked him up. He was born in Houston, Texas. I don't care where you're born at, but you can't claim a state unless you're either born there or you have significant family from there. And I'm not talking like cousins or in-laws. I'm talking mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, great grandma, great grandpa, and that's great grandma, great grandpa is pushing it. Okay, my biological father was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. He lived in Claremont County most of in all of his childhood up until the point he married my mom and moved to California and then left California later on after I was almost 18 and moved to Texas. He died in Texas, homeless, in a bathroom stall at a homeless shelter because he had had several heart attacks and the last one killed him pretty much and he was not able to work. He had just gotten Social Security when he died. He was born in Cincinnati. My great my grandpa Tony was born in Ohio. He was either born in Ohio or bred in Kentucky. I'd have to relook that up. He's been dead since 2022. But my grandma, her dad, my biological great grandpa, he was born in West Virginia. And my biological grandfather, my grandma's husband, who is deceased now, which I don't want to get into that. I miss my grandpa. But his dad was born in Breathitt, Kentucky, as far as I can recall. And his dad, Liberty Clemens, was a murderer. He shot and killed the most dangerous person in Kentucky at that time, in his area of Kentucky. Just fucking shot him and blew him away in downtown. Like, my family on both sides have been violent for fucking age generations. Like, like killing people, assaulting people, doesn't matter. They've been doing it. And like, if you're not from a state, but you have like a dad who was born in that state, or a grandma or grandpa who was born in that state, then you can claim that state because you have significant family ties to that state. I can claim Ohio if I want. I may not be from Ohio. I don't claim it because it's a conservative fucking hellhole that, well, it's not even really conservative. They gerrymandered the fuck out of it and purged the voter rolls enough to where Democrats can't get it up and get enough people to vote because they keep purging the fucking votes so it perpetually stays Republican. But I was born in California. See this? I got 5'10" on my fucking hand because I was born in Alameda County and raised in the Bay Area, and that's what I fucking claim. I don't claim 5'4" Southern Oregon. Like any fucking Southsider you meet in Southern Oregon, realistically, is 13 stepping at a fucking Oxford house. And then you've got the few who just aged out to the point they're no longer active and they became like tattoo artists and moved up here because they aged out of the gang and decided they wanted to have a better life. They want to have a better life for themselves. So they left like wherever they were from. And normally it's from Southern California. Like, I know two double OGs. They're both OGs of the tattoo industries and they're both One is no longer a Southsider, but he was for most of his life, and he left on good terms, and they let him walk away because he kept his mouth shut the whole time, even though he was looking at a third strike. He kept his mouth shut, did his 5 years in the shoe on a deal they gave him to go to the shoe for the rest of his term and do 5 more years in the shoe. So he did all that, and then he got out. He said, I just want to live a normal life as a square. So he did, and he moved up here. The other one is still a fucking Southsider. He's just not active, and he lives up here now. Both of them are tattoo artists. Like, I don't know what else to say, but like, JD, like, I don't know how many like real gangbangers he knows that have really put in actual fucking work. I know at least three of them. And one of my personal friends who lives in the Midwest in Iowa, his his uncles and his grandparents had their own family organized crime unit called the King Mafia. And the reason his immediate family disassociated with that life is because his dad's brother was killed. His hands got chopped up and he was cut into pieces because other people did not like what they were doing. These are the kind of people I associate with, the kind of shit I have around me. I just did the math. I know 6 murderers who murdered the guy around the corner from my parents' house. One guy murdered a guy in fucking Reedsport because his girlfriend set him up to get in a fucking fight and he killed the guy. He tried doing CPR to save the guy's life, but realistically, he was still charged with murder, but in the end, he only took up 7 years for it. So he probably got manslaughter in the second degree by pleading down. Another one killed a guy on the coast in Lane County by stabbing him in the heart. Another one chopped his grandpa's head off, and after fucking mangling his head with a samurai sword, and then trying to burn the house down to get uh rid of the evidence. And he took life. He got aggravated murder and took life. My cellmate at OSCI got out and tortured and murdered some girl, cut her body into pieces, and sexually assaulted her corpse. At least that's what I gather from reading what I've read when it comes to paperwork and news articles. Like, it was not funny. And there were 6 people involved in his case. 3 people, um, him and 2 other males and another female helped murder the girl. And like at least 2 or 3 others, if I recall reading the article right, uh, like tried to put a hit on the DA in the case and tried to put a hit on my ex cellmate. Probably because he was no good before he joined the gang and they didn't know about it. He got out, did that. Then they found out, and then they dropped him out inside the jail. He was had murder charges on, and tried to put a hit on him. So 6 and 6 and 3, yeah, that's 15 murderers I know. And if you count this missing person in Roseburg, where I live, if he gets found and they find out who the murderers are, that's anywhere from 1 to 4 other murderers that I personally know. One that used to play video games in my fucking house, in my parents' house, with me on my Xbox when I was a teenager. So that's like 19 murderers that I am potentially know, I'm connected to, or know. And like at least 2 of the other murderers in my cellmate's case I knew because they were on the same tier as me at OSCI. They were all at the MHU. Like, I've done some shit. I haven't murdered nobody, but I've been super fucking violent in my life, and I've surrounded myself somehow with super fucking violent people that ended up committing murders. I don't know why my fucking count is like that. I don't. I know one thing. I should have got caught a long time before I did for the crimes I was convicted of. Not charged with, convicted of. So when you hear all these YouTubers, especially like JD Delay and Johnny Mitchell, like they talk about how they're hard, how they put in all this work, and they were drug kingpins and shit like that. Like, firstly, JD Delay and Johnny Mitchell have both said they had cartel connections. So right off the bat, you just debriefed yourself live on YouTube, straight up live on YouTube. So you no longer have cartel. You're no longer in the cartel, homie. You no longer have cartel connections if you were. And it's pretty much the same way with gangs. If you mention the name of your gang, you just debriefed yourself out the gang right out in there. Like you're done. You X'd yourself out and are a target as soon as you go back to prison. And realistically, like I know both of them are lying out their ass. I've been to Oregon prison. I know this. And I've had other people on both of their fucking comments talking shit that they don't want to speak on because they know it's the truth. Like the guy who says, I did attempted murder for 12 years at Two Rivers. What he's explaining about Two Rivers is not a thing. The prison is not laid out like that. And another fucking YouTuber, I don't remember his name, but I could probably find the video again, basically commented on the fact that Johnny Mitchell said something about pink fentanyl. I don't remember his video, but that was a fucking lie too. He was like lying out his ass talking about pink fentanyl and something he didn't even know. Like, I got multiple family members who are in gangs. I know multiple people who are in gangs or have been in gangs. And I have extended family members through family members who are in biker clubs. And I have dead family members that were high-ranking mafioso members or were affiliates of gang crews. So basically like outlaw crews back in the early 1900s when it was prohibition and there was still like trains running around and cars were just starting to come out. People were still using horses a lot. And there were still outlaw gangs like crews like Billy the Kid and stuff. No, I'm not related to Billy the Kid or had family that rolled with him. But there was a particular gang in the area of Bloody Williamson that my great grandma ran with. She had a speakeasy. She had a restaurant. She sold alcohol there. It was a speakeasy. And she sold alcohol for them and through them, Lucky Luciano, as far as I know. Mom has the actual uh, news article from back then in a family booklet that was given by our great grandma uh, to my aunt, and when my aunt died, my mom got it. And it has the whole story about who she was associating with, who she was selling liquor to, and the reason they found all that out is because she shot two people in her speakeasy for sexually harassing either her little sister or her daughter, one of the two. But either way, they didn't get away with it. She shot them, and I don't know if they died or not, but it doesn't really matter. Like, so if you hear all these YouTubers who just run their mouth, like, take it at a grain of salt and look into their history. Because, like, if you look at all JD's mugshots, he didn't have a lick of prison tattoos when he got out of prison. He got all the tattoos once he got out of fucking Florida jail and had already ratted in multiple freaking cases. So he was never a shot caller. He was never any of that. Like, it's a whole fabricated story. Every last drop of it's a whole fabricated friggin' story. Like, anyways, don't know why this rant went on like this. But the bottom line is don't claim something you're not. Whether it's a state you weren't born or have significant family presence in your family genealogy, or you're claiming a gang or a fucking status in a gang, or in prison you're not, or in the drug game you're not. I've never claimed I was a drug fucking kingpin or anything. Have I sold drugs when I was on drugs? Yeah. Was I a middleman for a lot of drug deals? Yeah. Was I around people selling fucking tens of thousands of dollars worth of drugs? Yes. But I don't claim that I was some drug kingpin. I don't. Anyways, peace out, YouTube.